Sup y'all, my name's Patrick Ryan and this is CrossWords Gaming Talking Heads. Nintendo just recently wrapped up their latest earnings call for the previous quarter, which would have been October, November, and December of 2017. And everything looks really good. Profits are up, sales are up, and that is largely due to the Switch, but also due to Nintendo getting more into the mobile market. Super Mario Run, the new Animal Crossing, Pocket Camp, Fire Emblem Heroes, all of these things have had a really positive effect on Nintendo's bottom line. And I want to share some of what they announced with you right now. So, Nintendo sold 7.23 million Switches in that quarter, and they've sold a total worldwide of over 10 million. Now, if they sold 7.23 million just in the last quarter, that means sales before the quarter were a little bit around 3 million, but due to supply constraints, and it wasn't a holiday season, so you really just had probably the fans picking the console up more likely than a parent who's out looking to just buy a new thing for their kid. But with Christmas and the release of Mario Odyssey and a lot of really other great games last quarter, it saw a really big boost in sales. As a result of this, Nintendo has announced that they are upping their forecast of selling 14 million Switches by March of this coming year to 15 million. Now, that shows that they have a lot of confidence in what they're doing, and clearly it's working. They also announced that sales for the SNES Classic were strong and that they are going to continue to ramp up production as well as relaunch production of the NES Classic from 2016. The SNES Classic was doing so well that in several months, at least here in the US, the SNES Classic sold better than both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, which is pretty crazy to think about. Here's an old plug-and-play console that just has a whole bunch of old games in it, outselling the best of what your competition has to offer. Now, that probably also means that it outsold the Switch in a lot of those months, because while the Switch has outsold the Xbox One a few times, and I think it's even outsold the PlayStation 4 in a couple of months, that hasn't been consistent. The Switch and the PS4 have been kind of going back and forth, and of course, Microsoft's Xbox One has been struggling pretty much this entire generation. And while the Xbox One X has certainly helped that, it's not really changed Microsoft's fortunes of getting out of last place. While talking about mobile, they also kind of sprung on us this announcement of a new mobile app called Mario Kart Tour, which is going to be for Android and iOS. They said to expect it sometime next financial year, which is anywhere between April 2018 and March 2019. We don't really have anything else about this. This wasn't like a big trailer or a Nintendo Direct. It was just part of their earnings call. So it kind of got sprung on us. We don't really know what's going to happen. But because of the success of their other mobile apps, with the exception of Miitomo, which I talked about in another video, which you can go watch right here, that they're actually shutting that down. But I think Mario Kart Tour actually makes a lot of sense. Racing games tend to do fairly well on mobile. You hold your I'll pick my phone up. You hold your phone up and you steer like this. And I've never played a racing game on mobile, but from what I've been told, they play pretty well. Mobile's a pretty good place for this thing to kind of happen. They also made mention that Wii U's are getting harder and harder to find. Of course, Nintendo stopped production of the Wii U a while ago, so you're really just finding it in places where maybe a Best Buy has a few new boxed Wii U's left over, or on the second-hand market. But if getting a Wii U is something that you're actually interested in, and to be honest, with the way that Nintendo has been porting Wii U games to the Switch, I don't see a huge reason to run out and get one. I have one already, and I'm going to keep it because there's no mention yet of whether or not games like Yoshi's Woolly World or Xenoblade Chronicles or Captain Toad Treasure Tracker are going to be coming to the Switch. So I've still got mine for those reasons, but it's getting kind of hard to be like, hey, you should go get a Wii U for all the great games, because a lot of those great games are coming out for the Switch. So, I mean, just go get a Switch. Lastly, on the Nintendo front, Genyoi Takeda, and I'm sorry if I butchered his name, I'm sure I probably said it wrong, is actually getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the DICE conference that's happening a little bit later this year. I believe I read that Shigeru Miyamoto is going to be presenting him with the Lifetime Achievement Award. If you're not familiar with Takeda, he is kind of the mastermind behind a lot of Nintendo's hardware. He went full time into hardware around the time of the N64, so he was very instrumental in the design of the GameCube, of the Wii, of the Wii U, and he probably had a pretty big hand in the Switch. In fact, he didn't retire from Nintendo until sometime last year, so I'm sure that his DNA is all over the Switch, and he's a really influential guy in the video game industry, so it's really cool to see that he's going to be getting this award. All right, well, that's going to do it for this Talking Head. My name's Patrick Ryan for CrossForge Gaming. Hope you enjoyed it. Click that like button if you did. Please share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos when we upload them. Check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/CrossForgeGaming. You've, of course, found us right here on YouTube. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we're growing. We're doing really well. The numbers are good, and that's all thanks to you. So I thank you very much. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.